this work to facilitate growth or to become famous? Which is more important, getting or letting go?
All right, so let's kick it about spirituality for a minute, right? Because what I'm starting to realize over the last year or two is that spirituality becoming real big. You know, it's becoming a trend. But the fucked up thing that I'm seeing is it's starting to have a filter of a religious filter over it. When I say that, I mean like people on the outside looking in think that if you say you spiritual or you practice your spirituality or you into your spirituality, people starting to think like, oh, so you play with like crystals or you fuck with incense or you do black magic or some shit like that. I think people going into spirituality with a concept, thinking that spirituality is something that you know, something that you do, and it is like that to a certain extent. But over the past, I say like, you know, the past 6 or 7 years, we've been having a lot of people come online and teach and really regurgitate a lot of shit from books. And I think people under the impression that that's what spirituality is. Studying some shit, being able to memorize it, and being able to regurgitate it. But it's a huge difference, and it's a fine line between what spirituality actually is and what it's starting to look like, because we having so many people come out, gain a whole bunch of followers, regurgitate a whole bunch of shit, sound real smart, and I think that it's always going to be a group of people that's coming into their spirituality and paying attention to that kind of shit and thinking that's what they're supposed to be doing, thinking that they're on a path and they're on a journey because they start studying ancient Egypt and astrology and all of these vague subjects, which are helpful and they are tools and they are reference points and pointers to help you on your spiritual path. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not knocking what nobody do. I just want people to understand that real spirituality is like soul food. You know what I'm saying? Real spirituality is when you go in the kitchen and you gotta try some shit. You know how grandma do? Grandma go in there, she ain't really measuring shit. She don't have the measuring cup. She don't have the ingredients. She don't have she ain't looking at the directions off the box. She feeling, she going off how she feels. She going off her soul. She sitting over the food, humming over the food, singing. You feel me? Putting that love into it. And I would like motherfuckers to really understand that that's what spirituality is. Like experimenting with yourself, experimenting with your path, like experimenting with the things that you think you know versus the things that are outside of the box of what you think you know. Not going into it like, okay, this is something like a class. This is something I could just study. This is something I could just memorize and call it spirituality. And that's why where people fail. That's why I see a lot of people turn backwards. You know what I'm saying? They think they into the spiritual path. They think they on their spiritual shit because they hit Amazon up, buying a bunch of gems and crystals, or playing with tarot cards, or doing so-called magic. I'm starting to hear a lot of people talk about spell work and people wishing bad on people and things like that. And it's like, yo, you would never be able to use any of these things on the outside of you to exercise and practice true spirituality until you have tapped into who and what you truly are as an individual. Finding your niche, finding your uniqueness, fucking with your flaws. If somebody not telling you like all roads lead back to you, then they really just trying to keep you unaware to the blind spots that you got. You know what I'm saying? So they could keep benefiting off you. That's why you got a lot of people that, yeah, like, share, subscribe, pick on my Cash App, and I ain't knocking nobody for getting paid for their services, but that be the main cause. So a lot of times I'm seeing people on videos and lectures and shit like that, and I'm seeing them kind of do an infomercial. You know how infomercial go? Oh, you got this problem. They start presenting you with all the problems and all your deficiencies and playing on your insecurities and shit. And then 5 minutes later, they telling you, yo, go on my website, sign up for this, or do this. We could pay this much money and we could do this ritual and get this shit out your life like magic. And I'm saying that a lot of people is getting lost in this shit. I'm saying a lot of people getting lost in manifestation, law of attraction. That's one law. And first and foremost, the laws of the universe are intact. They principalities, they don't change. So you learn to get with the laws and get with nature. That's what the laws of the universe is. So you don't take the law of attraction and think, oh, I could just sit around and wish some shit gonna happen and it's gonna magically happen. Or I just learned I got guides and ancestors and shit like that, so I'm special. I'm saying a lot of people fall into that pitfall. And I just want to make niggas aware that be careful. You know what I'm saying? If you jumping into something to try to kind of change your identity of who you are through that thing, and when I say that, I mean this, right? How many people you see that, you know, they might not have been into religion, might not have been into church, but when they start going, they start using that as their costume, using that as their mask, as their new persona. So now they can't talk to you like how I'm talking to you right now. Now they got to talk to you through a religious filter. Are you saved? You know what I'm saying? That kind of shit. You sure you don't want to cut, like, passive aggressive type shit? You feel me? And that's kind of what's going on. And that's how I know this shit real, because when I was coming into consciousness and because you always on your path your whole life. It's just a certain point that you become conscious that you on a certain path and that is a certain kind of niche in a road paved just for you. You know what I'm saying? And that you got to follow what's true to you. So when I first started getting into this shit and starting to really truly like read into spiritual concepts and shit like that, I was saying this person talking, that person talking, they sounded so smart. They saying all of these profound things, all of these Snapple facts about how deep the ocean is, how far Mars is from Venus, Mercury retrograde, all of this shit. They sound like pros and shit. And I'm like, damn, okay, well, maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I'm supposed to just study this shit like them, memorize it like them, and regurgitate it like them. You know what I'm saying? You could get the impression that it's a course or some shit, or some, like I said, some shit for you to just master, when in reality real spirituality is, like I said, it's like soul food. Now memorizing some shit, regurgitating some shit, that's like takeout. You know what I'm saying? You call that in and come fast. Yo, can I order food to take out? You know what I'm saying? I want this, that, and the third, and 9 times out of 10 it never come out how you really truly like it, because you didn't make it, because you didn't stand right there and get the directions, because you don't know even truly know what you want. And that's the space where a lot of these so-called conscious teachers, you gotta be careful. A lot of this so-called conscious community, that's where they play on your intelligence at, or your lack thereof awareness. And it get us that's true to this shit lost in transition, because soon as we say anything about spirituality, soon as we say anything about vibrations, frequency, those type of words like that, it's like you can't even really use it no more, because people that ran it in a hole and used it as a disguise, used it as a persona. You know what I'm saying? And it's like contagious too, because you know we live here in America, most of us, and in this culture, it's about being noticed. It's about being validated and shit like that. It's about having followers and all that, and being famous and being seen. So it's like people take something like spirituality and try to use it and do gain followers. As long as they got that core following, people that's going to tell. I be looking at people on live and shit, and people be under their videos saying yes to everything they say. Word, that's dope. Word, yep. Moses did do this. Osiris did this. The Egyptians, we used to have gold. We used to have the pyramids, talking all of this history shit. When niggas is out here going through real shit in their real life and need real peace and real solace within themselves and be in alignment on their own path. You feel what I'm saying? Not what the fuck some person did in 300 BC. We walking the earth right now. So you could get caught up in that shit. You could get caught up in all them fast buzzwords, and you could get caught up in the idea of, oh shit, all I gotta do is just think this shit all day and it's gonna come on my doorstep. No, it's not. That's not gonna happen. Like I said, real spirituality is to be tried and tested. Speaking from a place of where you know of your experience. Being a scientist. That's what a scientist do. Experiment. Not just looking from the outside in and just say, all right, I'm gonna just do the same shit that this scientist did. Nah, you try to come to a new conclusion and see what worked for you. So it's been thousands of things I done tried and tested and 1,000 different perspectives I done had on myself and shit like that, because it all come back to the self too. I done had on myself to just see what fit and what don't fit, because we forever changing. That's the thing. People could talk about history all you want, and this happened in the ancient times, and everybody want to, be gods and all that. You gotta be careful with that, because whatever thing you take on, whether it's spirituality, whether it's a new job, a new relationship, your ego is going to start to form itself into that world, and it could play tricks on you, and it could be very dangerous. And you could be out here lost as fuck, thinking you doing some spiritual shit, but really suffering, wondering why my manifestations ain't. That's all niggas worry about anyway. Why my manifestations ain't coming, shit like that. Because you're not living this shit out practically. Your idea of spirituality is conceptual. Because all you do is find yourself, and it's easy to fall into. I done fell into this shit, watching motherfuckers, and all they doing is giving you concept after concept, little fact after little fact. You know what I mean? And it sound good. This should be sounding good. Like, wow, I ain't know that. I'd be like, that's wow. But then when I sit down and be like, okay, how can I apply this to my real life right now? While bills is on my ass. While you got children. While you have, things to do in this real reality. Because I feel like, not that I feel like, I know the end of the road is you. The beginning of the road is you, and the end of the road is you. And it's really about finding a place of integration within yourself, so that you spiritually sound, so that you constantly questioning the possibilities, that you constantly on a journey, not to come to some vast conclusion about who you are, or come to a conclusion about what somebody did in ancient times, or what is going on in astrology or tarot cards. And those, like I said, those are good tools. Even religion. I don't knock nobody religion. It's whatever level you on, whatever your level of understanding is, cool. But understand there are some gatekeepers, there are some motherfuckers out here that are going to utilize your blind spots to benefit off of them. So I'm seeing that, people starting to not understand who the real from the fake no more. You can't tell, because now everybody just want to throw on chakra bracelets and beads and shit like that, and burn incense and start a so-called business and call themselves doing readings and all of this kind of shit. And it make the ones of us that's true to it, that really practice this shit in our real life, that really get out here and put the pedal to the metal into making our dreams come true, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, really just manifesting what's true to you. Not manifesting it through the law of attraction, because you think like you're going to think some shit and it's just going to happen, but actually putting the pedal to the metal, actually transforming, actually letting go of parts of yourself that no longer benefit you, instead of just staying in the comfort zone. Because if you're just going to be practicing spirituality from the outside looking in and just going through the motions, then you're not going to find no reflection in your life that's going to show you that, okay, this shit is real. It'll just always be a concept to you. Because to be honest with you, when you come into your consciousness and realize that you're on a spiritual path and shit like that, as time go on, the first thing that happened is you die more and more and more till you thought you was. It hurt. It's pain. It's real. It's not conceptual. It's not just something that's up here. It's something that be in here. It's something that be in your fucking gut. It's something that hurt. You know what I'm saying? You give up, you give up, you give up, you let go, you let go, you let go. It's not about accumulating a whole bunch of shit. I always tell people, I always say this, accumulation is of the ego. That's the ego's nature, accumulation of everything. So the voice in your head gonna always tell you a story about, oh shit, yesterday, now we gotta do today. Is always accumulating a narrative of who you are and why you should be like this and what you should do. And it's gaining these narratives by and through what you look at, what you think is important, advertisements, billboards, whatever you're influenced by. So if your concept of spirituality is, oh, I'm gonna just do some fake ass black magic spell work, or I'm gonna get into tarot cards, and that's where it stop at, and you ain't trying to have no real true transformation, which is, when we talk about transformation, we mean death, life, rebirth. Coming into a place where, like, you really gotta give up aspects of yourself that you've known forever, to the point where you had to give up parts of yourself, every part of yourself. You have to leave no stone unturned. But like I said, it's like everything else. It's like CDs. When CDs was out, anything you have, you're going to always have a bootleg. You're going to always have a real. You're going to always have a fake. And then the fucked up part is, it's so many fake ones that you can't tell them they not practicing real spirituality. You can't tell them that they're not unique. You can't tell these people that the shit that they doing is just repetitive and there's no growth to it, because they got hundreds of thousands of fans, not even followers and fans, not people that looking at them and saying, okay, thanks for the reference point. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna go do my own work and go see what's up with my own stuff. They got people that's just so happy and glorified by what the fuck they glorifying what they do. The fast words that they spit. And a lot of people got the gift of gab. You know what I'm saying? So those of us that's true to this shit, and you can always spot us, you know what I'm saying? Those of us that's true to this shit, we tell real life shit. The shit that we sound practical. It sound like, yo, you could go take that thought or take that, whatever we share, and you could take it and it could make sense right now. And trust me, I'm a study of a lot of things. I'm a study of astrology. Love astrology. It's a good reference point. It's a good tool to, merging more with yourself and bringing some integration within yourself on your path. But it's a tool, though. It's not it. It's like me telling you about the food, but you never tasting it yourself. All of these things, all of these other people, until you have your own realization after realization about yourself, none of this shit don't mean nothing. And then you could just tell how I'm saying it, I ain't lying. I done dived into this, dived into that, but the true transformation ain't come until I start looking at how I think, how I respond, how I react. Am I an asshole? Am I narcissistic? How do I affect the people around me? Everybody's skipping that part and then jumping straight into some spirituality, but they got people around them and people that they can't even communicate with and see eye to eye with and come to resolutions and shit like that within their real life. You feel me? They think it's something just to fuck with. Oh, I'm gonna go be like this, fake as hell all the time. And then on a certain day or the week or some shit like that, I'm going to jump into my spiritual bag and hopefully this shit save me. Nobody coming to save you. No tarot cards going to save you. I'm not against none of this shit. Like I said, it's tools. No church going to save you. All of that shit is immediate. That's takeout food. You don't know what you're going to get. It's coming from somebody else's kitchen. You feel me? It's coming the season for somebody else's cabinet. They not even preparing the meal with you in mind. These people getting on here talking, running their mouth. They don't even have you in mind. Only thing they care about is, hit that cash app, hit that super chat. But it's a split going on right now, and it's starting to show the real from the fake. It's starting to show that people that thought they was on some path or some shit like that, that they really was just being followers and regurgitators. And there's nothing original about them. And when they talk, ain't no conviction in it because they truly ain't go through the motions. Because it's easy to have confidence standing behind some book knowledge. It's easy to have confidence standing behind some form of modality or practice. But then when you got to talk from your soul and speak from where you really at, that's the shit that's going to come across. That's the shit that's going to stay in real and echo into forever. You feel what I'm saying? And furthermore, everybody gets stuck on history, and missing out on a mystery. You know what I'm saying? Which is yourself. You don't. I every fucking day I get up. I know it's a mystery. I'm looking and searching and being aware and staying conscious to just get a glimpse of different aspects of myself. Some days I realize, damn, okay, I'm deficient over there. Next day, or maybe even in the same day, oh shit, this is where I could improve at. This is where I am improving at. Oh shit, this is where I lack communication at. Why? And then I start asking, why is that? Because you're not going to make no difference. You're not going to make no change until, of course, you make it within yourself. And you're definitely not going to see no change unless you're a grounded individual. Keyword, individual. Grounded, though. Meaning you take all them concepts in through your crown chakras and all that kind of shit that I love to talk about. And ground that shit in the roots. Get some roots to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you gotta sleep with yourself. And it's real deep when you fall to deep into your own delusions and illusions. Like, if you're going to try to really make yourself believe because you regurgitating and memorizing some form of modalities or practices or because you read 1,000 books, if you're going to be able to sit in front of a camera, microphone, or call yourself teaching somebody else and taking people money and shit like that, and you know damn well in your heart this shit ain't coming from you. So a lot of people out here teaching, acting like they just go sit down and meditate and all the answers in the world and all of this new knowledge and wisdom just come through them. When in reality, these niggas is cold-hearted. These people is cold-hearted. And how do I know? Because on my journey, it was certain levels I couldn't reach till I started to really deal with my real self in real time. To where people around me that know me and really love me realize the change. Subtle shit. How could you be patient with people? I'm a very impatient individual. I'm an Aries. I like to go. You know what I mean? I don't like to have to keep repeating myself and shit like that. So those are the type of things I have to look for and look for opportunities to where I'm impatient, where I could be patient at. That's spirituality. When somebody pissing you off or somebody calling you something out your name and shit like that, and you don't buck back and be able to understand like, oh, all right, that person perception of me don't have nothing to do with me. When you stop really caring about what motherfuckers think. And start checking what you thinking, why you thinking it, and is that thought cohesive to your path? That's spirituality. But you know, and I'm just kind of saying this as a warning, whoever see this or whatever, you know, why be mindful, be careful. Because like I said, your ego is going to form to whatever you're ready to conform to. That's it. That's all. Be careful. Like, soul food take a long time, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna feed you know what I'm saying? But y'all, you know, if you want to keep fucking with the takeout, fuck with the takeout. If you want to keep fucking with the takeout, fuck with the takeout.